Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a good day. Today I will be talking about your basic wools used for needle felting and wet felting. And this is, I guess you could say this is for beginner felters who aren't sure about the different types of wool. I remember when I first started felting, I didn't realize there were so many different types and what they were all used for. So I thought today would be a good day to do a video on your basic types of wool and what they're used for. And of course, as you become a more experienced felter, you can experiment with different types of wools. So for today, we are going to talk about Bat, Corriedale, Shetland, Lox, and Roving Top. So I'll start with Bat. As you can see, it's not in a long piece. It's more like chunky, kind of flat. And this is wool that has been, it's been washed and carded. And carding just means that the fibers, as you can see, the fibers kind of go in all different directions. So it's great for needle felting. It's mostly used for needle felting. I use it in my needle felting and my wet felting. I mostly use it in my wet felting for my base. As you see, it comes in sheets, which makes it great for having a base for a wet felting project. And it's also cheaper. It's the more inexpensive form of wool compared to roving, which is more expensive. So this is great for if you're going to do a wet felt piece. It's the base, and then I layer my other types of wool, the roving and such, on top. Now the next one is tops, and this is the most popular one. It's either called roving or tops. Just depends, I guess, where you live. And these are combed, washed and combed, not carded. And the combing, as you can see, all the wool goes in one direction, whereas the Bat, it kind of goes in all different directions. So when you're going to use it, you can just pull it and it just comes out. As you can see there, the wool goes all in one direction. And roving is, like I said, the most popular one. It can be used for wet felting or needle felting. I use it for both. Merino is the most common wool that's made into tops and roving, and there's no crimping. So what I mean by crimping is you can see how the fibers are straight, whereas Bat, it's very crimped because it goes in all directions. And compared to Corriedale, this has been combed, but it's has more crimping, so it's good for adding volume to a piece. Same with the Shetland. It's going in one direction, but there's more crimp as well, so it gives it more volume. The nice thing with the roving top merino is it's great for blending colors because you can pull off very thin strands, as you can see there. It's great for blending, and it's also great for doing fine detail, whereas you'll find with the Shetland and the Corriedale that it does come off. It's combed straight, so it does come off as well, but you can see the crimp in it. So it's a little more difficult to get a fine detail, but you can. Just not as much as the merino roving top. So these are Lox. So these are Lox come from all different types of sheep, and they have been washed, and they haven't been carded like the Bat, and they haven't been combed like the roving. They're just left curly, and this is basically what sheep wool looks like after you've washed it and you haven't carded it or combed it. It just, hangs off the sheep and it's just curly. A lot of people use them for hair when they're making little three-dimensional characters. They can be used for embellishments in wet felting for all different types of things, waterfalls, grass, plants, etc., whatever the imagination does. These are great. And these are shiny because that's just the type of sheep that it is. There's other ones that aren't shiny, and these also come in various colors. I love working with the locks. So Corriedale is a type of sheep, of course. And again, you can get Corriedale in different colors. Corriedale is primarily in its natural color of the sheep. So it comes in browns, beiges, whites, grays. Again, it's been combed, but it has a crimp to it. More of a crimp than the Shetland. They've both been combed. They're both going in one direction, but this has more crimp than the Shetland. So again, it's good for needle felting and wet felting. It just adds bulk. It can be used the same as bad if you want to use it as a base on a wet felting piece. And you can't use these for fine detailing as much as you can with the roving merino tops, again, because they're just fine. And merino roving tops also come in different levels of fineness. So again, it just depends on your project. But all in all, the Shetland, the Corriedale, the Bat, the locks, and the roving tops are going to be your basic wools you're going to use in your projects for both wet felting and needle felting. And as I said earlier, as you become more experienced and you want to experiment and kind of spread your wings a little more, there are so many different kinds of wool to work with. And like I said, just experiment and have fun with it. And I hope this has been really helpful. Again, if you have any questions, just let me know. Have a great day.